So today we're going to talk about time management. This is something written by Paul Meyer from the SMI Institute a while back, and I found this and I had saved this ever since, and it's called The Value of Time. I'll put it back up there, but I'm just going to read it. It says, time is usually wasted in the same way every day. Imagine there is a bank which credits your account each morning with $86,400, carries over no balance from day to day, allows you to keep no cash balance, and every evening cancels whatever part of the amount you had failed to use during the day. What would you do? Well, you would draw out every cent, of course. Well, everyone has such a bank. The name is time. Every morning it credits you with 86,400 seconds. Every night it writes off as lost whatever of this you have failed to invest to good purpose. It carries over no balance. It allows no overdraft. Each day it opens a new account for you. Each night it burns the records of the day. If you fail to use the day's deposits, the loss is yours. There is no gaining back. There is no drawing against the tomorrow. You must live in the present of today's deposits. Invest it so as to get from it the utmost in health, happiness, and success. The clock is running. Make the most of the day. So here's just kind of an analogy of really how important time is. If you want to realize the value of 1 year, ask a student who has failed on his final exam. To realize the value of 1 month, ask a mother who has given birth to a premature baby. To realize the value of 1 week, ask an editor of a weekly newspaper. To realize the value of 1 day, ask a daily wage earner who has 10 kids to feed. To realize the value of 1 hour, ask the lovers who are waiting to meet at a coffee shop. To realize the value of 1 minute, ask a person who has missed the plane. To realize the value of 1 second, ask the person who has just missed an accident. And to realize the value of 1 millisecond, ask the person who has won a silver medal in the Olympics. Great book on time management is by Dan Kennedy. It's called No BS, Time Management for Entrepreneurs, the ultimate no-holds-barred to kicking ass in time management.
That's a great book.
Great book. Okay, so I would highly recommend you get this. Anybody read this book? You got it? Read it? Good. Awesome. Time. Time is what, John? What is time? Time is what?
Well, I mean, what do you guess? Time is the most valuable asset.
Okay, but time is what, Steve?
Money.
It's money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Time is money. It's $5,000 right there, big old gangster. Cash money, $100 bills. Time is money. Pass that around.
Shit, I would have shouted out earlier.
It don't look like much. It's just paper. Light a match on it and be gone. Time is money. For me, my day is worth $5,000 to me. Not only in my mind, but also in my bank account. So, if I'm not using my time wisely, I guess the point is you need to decide what your time is worth. If you don't know what your time is worth, then what the hell are you doing? You need to have an idea. You need to set expectations of the people you work with, but also, most importantly, the expectations in your brain. How much are you worth? Now, I don't work every day, 24/7, 8 hours a day. In fact, I only go into my office 3 days a week, and I work from home the other 2 days. And every other day, it's this or that. So I separate it. So just as much as time off is as valuable as time is important. Yes. Don't let me forget that. So you need to understand that you really just need to know, put a dollar amount on your time. Okay, Dan Kennedy talks about that in great detail, and I think that's the first chapter of that book. So understand what your dollar figure is. Okay. So time is your most valuable asset. You must safeguard it and invest it wisely. The key word there is invest. Yes, it's your most valuable asset. What was I going to say? Here's some statistics. A study of a Fortune 500 CEO companies said that CEOs might average 45 productive minutes a day. The rest of their time is dealing with time-wasting activities. That's pretty impressive. to think that they get paid millions of dollars a year and 45 minutes of their day is only productive. Now, where this study came from or how accurate it truly is, who only knows. But there is a lot of truth to the point that this statistic is trying to say. So every second of your time should be measured in an investment or an expense. Most people, the same statistic, this is all same statistic information. Most people spend 90% of their time on what they're not best at, and only 10% of their time on what they're really good at. It took me a while to figure this out too. I'm really good at closing the sale. I'm really good at getting the phone to ring. I suck at everything else. I am terrible at returning phone calls. I'm terrible at filing. I'm terrible at organization, but I'm really good at what I'm good at. So that's why I have a full-time employee to help me take care of the things that I'm not good at. Successful people delegate that 90% and that 10% to their unique ability. This is the difference between a work day and a productive hour. Which of yours are productive? That was terrible. It looks like I'm not even. All right, here's the top 5 management enemies. Now these are mine. You don't have to agree with everything I say. You just have to agree with most of it. So time management. The phone is your worst enemy. Email is a terrible enemy. Internet and social media, Stephanie, is a terrible enemy. Individual interruptions. So the main thing here is that everybody loves this instant gratification, this instant communication, but really the reality is it's very poisonous to you. So you want to make sure you can separate yourself from all the easy button, call me now kind of stuff, because as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing that's that urgent. So based on those 5 enemies, in my opinion, there are 5 ways to beat those enemies. Number 1 really is the stuff in between your ears. You have to make a mental decision and decide that, I really believe that time management is important and I'm going to do something about it, and then create a plan to do that. So you have to make a mental decision, and that's with everything, whether it's time management or a marketing campaign or hiring people or whatever the case may be. You have to make a mental decision, which goes back to the purpose of this group, which was originated from inside those pages in that book. The second thing is you have to have self-discipline, so you can make a decision, but then you have to be self-disciplined to see it through each and every day. It needs to become second nature. And as far as I'm concerned, for entrepreneurship, that's probably one of, if not the most important traits that you need to have is just personal self-discipline. The willingness to get up and do the stuff that nobody else wants to do. Next, you need to create systems to control your time, and I'm going to talk a lot about my personal systems and what I do here to control my time. And another thing you need to do is not only you train yourself in making a decision in your head, but you need to also train other people how you handle your time. And we'll get to that in a minute. Your mindset. Most people feel as though they have to be constantly accessible. They've got this cell phone attached to their head. Oh my God, if it rings, I better pick it up. No, you don't have to do that. Again, a lot of this is just making a mental decision that says, no, I'm going to create a wall. I'm going to separate so that way I can focus on that what is most important. So change your mind about the fact that you don't have to pick up the phone every time it rings. Every time it buzzes about a new email, you don't have to answer it. What I have, I don't call it a VIP list, but really that's what it is. I have a VIP list of people that I will pick up the phone for if they call. And number 1 is my wife, right? My God, she likes to call.
Is that why you didn't answer my call last night?
Probably. Kalisa, if she calls, I answer her. She's my full-time person. If I'm expecting a call, if I had called someone and I'm expecting them to call me back, and I've given them a window of when I'm going to be available, then I'll pick up the phone then. But everything else, all other calls and everything else, as far as I'm concerned, can wait. My phone is off right now. It can wait. There's no big deal. There's no emergency out there. And if there is an emergency, they're going to find a way to let me know. There's these people out there that Dan Kennedy talks about in his book called Time Vampires. The people that are out there that will just, not necessarily intentionally, but they will suck you dry of your time, simply because they don't have no management or understanding of their own time. We're going to talk more about that in just a minute. This is an important one that was taught to me. Deal only with those people that want to do business with you. Don't try to do business with people that don't want to do with you. That's a waste of time. So part of that is marketing and pre-screening, but the key factor is how that affects your time if you don't understand that. You know, the people that RSVP'd and didn't show, it's their loss, right? If they want to deal with me and work with us, they'll be here. If not, whatever. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. It's the same thing with a client. You can't be all things to all people. You have got to give people a choice, let them make a decision, and they have got to conform to your schedule if you want to run a successful business that is scalable.